Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, bringing you another Star Citizen video. I want to apologize right off the bat if you hear a fan going in the background. That's because I am still without AC. I've been without AC since Saturday, and as you know, it gets pretty hot here in Texas, so I've got this fan cranked up about as high as it'll go, just so I'll just sweat a little bit and not pour buckets. So, let's get into what the topic of today's video is, and that is the Roadmap Roundup. It is July 14th, 2021, and there's a lot of fun things on the roadmap as usual. So let's get into it. So, Roadmap Roundup, July 14th. Let's talk what's the notable changes for this particular roadmap. The progress tracker. The deliverables have been added, and they are the laser trip mine. Looking forward to this one already. They're implementing some sort of laser trip mine into the game, which are some sort of explosive that you can use using light beams as triggers. So when someone or something gets close and makes contact with that beam, the mine will explode. I am loving this. Frontier clothing. Generating concepts for frontier style clothing for players and NPCs. This will fit the Texas Space Navy quite nicely. Female player head. So they're completing modeling and texture and polish for more female player heads. After this pass, it'll be sent to tech animation for rigging. DGS mesh node implements multiple dedicated game servers and clients connected to the same instance of the hybrid service and allows DGS to exchange entities and authority over them. Guys, this is server meshing here. This is the next level of server meshing. This is what we've been hoping for a long time, and it's on the progress tracker now. Shard Manager. Add functionality to the hybrid for what will become the Shard Manager component service. The Shard Manager functionality is responsible for creating a shard in the entity graph database, ensuring it is seeded with initial population of entities, communicating with matchmaking so that players can join a shard, and talking to provisioning services so that a hybrid and dedicated game server can be assigned to a shard. More server meshing stuff that's here on the roadmap. Inventory unstow. So unstow refers to fetching an item from the inventory and placing it into a shard. For example, a ship loaded with cargo being unstowed removes the ship and its associated cargo from inventory and places them into the game. This work implements moving an item's persistent data from inventory into a shard managed by the entity graph and adding the item to replication layer. So this is pretty much how they're gonna pull your ship with all the entities that are on it, like cargo, like armor, weapons, etc., and put it into the persistent universe, and it'll cross different servers, so to speak. Entity stow and destroy. So stow refers to moving an entity into inventory. For example, a ship loaded with cargo being stowed stores the ship and its associated cargo. The work implements removing items from replication layer, moving its persistence data into an inventory managed by the entity graph. So it's just the opposite of what we were talking about, more or less. Item port mod API. The API allows tools like the vehicle modification app to modify ship loadouts inside inventories. So that'll be key for us to modify your ships. It'll be all done on a vehicle modification app inside the Mobi-Glass, really. But Shard Data Query API. The API allows game code access to common queries against entity graph data. Then we have the Freeform Variable API, which is the Blackboard service for game code systems to write generic persistent variables. AI navigation links, ladders, ledge grab, implementing special adapters to allow the navigation system to be informed of potential nav mesh connections offered by ladders or ledge grab markup. So the navigation links already allowed the creation of adapters that contain game code specific functionality to function as a sort of translator between system specific domain into the navigation system. I know that's a lot And I probably don't need to read through all these, but some interesting things here for sure. AI trolley push and pull. This will be the first pass on implementing the ability for NPCs to use trolleys and trolley-like entities. They'll be able to move in the environment, pushing and pulling those entities to place them from or to specific locations. So it requires the creation of a special path follower that can take into consideration external forces that needs to be balanced to achieve the desired speed. So when they're pushing it, are they pushing it uphill? Are they pushing it against a rock, etc.? AI ground vehicles is the first pass on supporting NPCs controlling and driving ground vehicles. This requires the implementation of a new path follower that can take care of the vehicle's physical abilities to transform the NPC's movement request into actual movement. So again, it's, hey, am I in a rover now? What's the size of the rover? Can it fit in this gap? Can it dodge these rocks, etc.? AI unmanned missile turrets, adding AI controlled missile turrets to improve defense of green zones. AI medical, implementing a variety of medical AI behaviors. A patient will arrive at the hospital, check themselves in at a terminal, then wait to be seen, called to a room for diagnosis. And then the patient can see the doctors and nurses tending to the sick and injured people. Other patients will wait to be called. Doctors and nurses can be seen washing their hands, checking medical stock, and dispensing medicine. Some patients will be asleep in medical beds. AI leisure. The leisure behavior is segment of their new civilian behavior system, controlling how the AI behaves when they have free time during their schedule. AI will create a lifelike environment by relaxing and having fun, using the things that are available to them, such as exercise equipment, jogging routes, TV monitors, seats and benches, and their Moby Glass. AI dancing is another leisure behavior. Fire hazard. Fire hazard system will track fire and temperature on static and dynamic objects for the initial release of fire. The feature will be set up on select few vehicles. A destructible workflow. So they're building out a workflow to allow artists and designers to work with destructible objects. I know everybody's looking forward to being able to destroy things in the verse. Throw some C4 out there and blow up a wall or a door or a crate, or, well, you get the idea. Maya Live Link. So the Maya Live Link will establish a link between Maya and Lumberyard or Star Engine Sandbox Editor. It's primarily meant to give animators the best possible what you see is what you get style preview quality by seamlessly integrating the editor rendered images in Maya viewport. That's really cool back-end stuff that they're doing. Rescue and transport mission. Taking advantage of AI follow behaviors to create missions where players transport customers from one location to another, along with prototype missions where player must rescue imperiled clients from dangerous situations and escort them to safety. Then we have infiltrate defend missions. Underground facilities are first place to benefit from addition of spawn closets, which allow us to expand on the suite of missions that take place there. Missions range from all-out assaults to situations where you may be able to complete objectives without the need to engage in combat at all, and include both lawful and lawful versions. Comrade mission improvements. Several mission improvements and totally new missions set across and around the comrades with a specific focus on PvP content. Physical QT movement. This deliverable has been previously removed from the roadmap, and its return to progress tracker has been scheduled for work in Q3 with the physics team. MISC Hull B. This was originally scheduled for work simultaneously with the Hull A. However, additional resources needed to be allocated to the Hull A. Therefore, they've temporarily removed Hull B from the progress tracker until it's been rescheduled. Now, let's look at the release view, what's been added here to the 317 column, and this is super exciting. First thing is persistent hangars. Players will have the ability to have their own persistent hangars. This will bring changes to the cargo gameplay loop by allowing players to buy cargo and send it to their hangars. Then maximize their cargo storage space by allowing them to pack the goods themselves. Gone will be the days of getting booted from your hangars because you were there too long. Outpost, Homestead, Independent, and Outlaw. A small home for AI to live and shelter. They consist of central hub and optional internal and external modules. They will provide the basic necessities to support a small group of people for an indefinite amount of time. So the persistent hangars, that means we are that much closer to server meshing. It's got to be that. I don't think anybody else can really dispute that, because there's going to be a much bigger load on the servers with the persistent hangars. And you saw some other server meshing stuff, or heard other server meshing stuff in that list of things that I went through. Now let's talk about some of the sprints that have been concluded and some of the sprints that they have started. So they have concluded AI dancing for, one dev's been working on that. The Basilisk Advocacy Undersuit, 2 devs worked on that. The DNA Toolbox updates, 2 devs worked on that. FPS devices, deployable ones, 1 dev worked on that. The Jump module, 1 dev working on it. Orison version 1, 41 devs have worked on it. RSI Constellation Taurus, 14 devs worked on it. Updates to Broken Moon and Dying Star maps, 6 devs worked on that. And then the Vandal Warrior Armor, 1 dev worked on that. I'm interested to see what that looks like. As you know, as Vandal get bigger, badder, better, the more people they kill, the higher in rank they are, the less armor they wear. Interesting fact. So sprints that have been started. The AI Unmanned Missile Turrets, Basins, Cybernetics Concept, Hangar Manager App, Loot Generation Tier 1, Orison version 2, Physical QT Movement, Rest Stop Hangar Replacements, Rivers and Roads, my bad. That's important. We saw that a few, inside Star Citizens ago. Shared Data Query API, Unannounced Vehicle, Unannounced Content, and another unannounced vehicle. So some definitely cool things on the horizon here, and I'm really looking forward to what they have coming out in the future. Which of those things are you excited about? Let me know in the comments down below. I really do appreciate everybody tuning in and watching the video. Again, you guys are awesome. Thank you to all my Patreon and YouTube members. You guys have really saved my neck the last year and a half, 2 years. You continue to do so. You don't know how much that really helps, that those contributions really help me. It is, no words, but thank you. I don't have enough words to express how I really feel, so thank you once again. If you guys are interested in joining either of those groups, you can do that in the description of the video. There's links to it. Also, if you're new to the game and it looks like a game you might want to get into, use my referral code, also listed in the description of the video. You'll get 5,000 bonus credits for doing so. And guys, that's all we have for the Roadmap Roundup. Let me know what your thoughts are on it. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.